After the horrible year that we had in 2020, we thought that 2021 is going to start on an optimistic note. But no, things seem to be getting worse for a lot of ordinary people and small businesses and families. Rate of suicide still going up, mental health cases going up, businesses going down, unemployment going up, homelessness going up. We haven't actually fixed the current situation, generally speaking, and we don't really know exactly what's going on. The only good news that the government had from their perspective is that they now have a solution with Pfizer and all the other companies. But even that is not really showing any signs. There are a lot of issues. We've talked a lot about the lockdown policies. Everyone's been talking about it for a few months. But right now, I just want to talk about people. Actual effects, impact it's had on people, especially the hospitality sector. What I did this morning, yesterday Boris Johnson announced that we are now going into the third lockdown. And again, this video is not really about whether this is going to be a good idea or a bad idea. This is simply about the left behind. What I did today, I woke up, I noticed the latest tier map that we had from the 31st of December. There were still a number of areas in the country that were in tier 2. And I made some phone calls towards the west of Dorset and those areas to some pubs and restaurants to see if they're open today on the final day before the national lockdown. Now, you'd be surprised, and if you don't believe me, by the time you watch this, that if they still answer the phone, you could try it. I was massively surprised that the message that the government had has been so confusing all over the place. A number of them, firstly, have already given up. Today was completely closed, even though they could have actually had it open, had their local customers to come, because a number of certain drinks like beer needs to go, food stocks need to go because they're going to be expired. A lot of them gave up. A number of them thought that they were already in lockdown today. And so this is not really helping. Now, the situation that we have is that the government are trying their best to provide financial support. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, because the hospitality sector, according to the latest report, have suffered £53 billion drop in sales in 2020. And the reason I say this matters, this is not really an economic argument or about business in general. These businesses, even the owners, especially family-owned businesses, that's all they have. And the people who work for them on minimum wage, the staff, are people who, if they lose their jobs, even with furlough, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And they have already been in a lot of trouble since March 2020. And the latest numbers that we have from the CGA's report, the Future Shock report, shows that this massive hit, £53.3 billion a year. Obviously, this has been the actual hit from April to the end of September. It's not even till now. It's just the first few months of the situation. Falling consumer confidence, with 78% of British adults concerned about the long-term financial implications. And also hesitant business confidence, with 27% of the business leaders of multi-site groups are predicting that they'll be unviable by the middle of 2021 with the current level of support. And there was also bleak prospects for Christmas trading. 98, obviously we already passed this, but it has been a very, very painful period. Now, within the middle of all this, Rishi Sunak and the government came out to announce financial support. Now, I know they don't have any money left. They've spent the whole thing. They're borrowing a lot of money. They're printing a lot of money. So the future generations, yeah, you guys are going to be in a lot of trouble as well. But £9,000 grant to businesses, to the hospitality sector, £9,000. What's going to happen here? What do they expect to happen? This £9,000 is not going to cover anything. It's a one-off financial grant. And I'm saying it as a free market capitalist. I'm not really into handouts or subsidies or things like that. But considering this is happening because of government policy, because the government are forcing them to close, then the government are responsible to provide support. Clearly, it's not really happening properly. And as I said, I fully understand that Her Majesty's Treasury don't have much money left. But £9,000 is just gesture to just show that they care. Because the leaders in the hospitality sector have come out. This is the latest article that came out today to say that they're completely unimpressed with this grant, because it makes absolutely no sense. what's going to happen? So one of the chief executive of the UK hospitality, Kate Nichols, said that while this announcement is most welcome, make no mistake that this is only a sticking plaster for immediate ills. It is not enough to even cover the costs of many businesses, and certainly will not underpin the long-term business viability for our sector. Now, more than half a millions of businesses across England have to close due to the third lockdown. I mean, the whole situation was we had the November lockdown, and that already caused a lot of chaos in terms of, as I said, business, unemployment, and people's mental health, and just generally their pockets. But now the third lockdown is going to make things even worse. I know that a lot of people are still supportive of these measures, and I know that they are being very optimistic that because this is going to be short term, this is going to be the last one probably, despite the new variants and how it's going to be responding to Pfizer or Oxford. That's not really the case. We're not really talking about this. I'm not really discussing that. I'm just discussing how the government initially with the furlough scheme, again, despite the fact that it is kind of difficult to fund it long term, they did something at least. But since then, the whole thing is going down. I'm sure they can, at this point, cover certain costs by making the actual cut to waste and certain projects like HS2. We don't need HS2 right now. That's £100 billion that could be saved from there immediately. And yeah, but this is the way the government are actually running things. And the hospitality sector, these are the same people that the government spent the last few months during the 10 p.m. curfew measures and everything else, going after them. There have been a lot of restaurants and pubs that were just about to close their doors just after 10 p.m. So about 10:04, 10:03 p.m. And they got fined. So the government are very, very keen on getting out there, taking people's money again in the name of fines. But then they say, we care about you. You could have just ignored those fines, but clearly not. They don't really care about that. The whole thing is too bureaucratic and run by incompetent people. Now, speaking of free things and giving out free things, as if we don't have enough problems, this Labour MP, Afsana Begum, from London, from Poplar and Limehouse, has come out to offer more free things. Broadband for every child. Maybe a new iPhone as well. A laptop for every child. Yeah, she actually said it. And close the digital divide. So the Labour Party and the Socialists are still going out telling people we need to give everyone free lollipops and unicorns. And so despite the criticisms that we've had with Boris Johnson and the management, be grateful it's not the Labour Party. Things would have been much, much worse. It doesn't mean that the Tory government has been like the best, but it's just imagine this. Also, the irony of this coming from Afsana Begum, same woman, the same MP, who's currently been charged and under investigation because of fraud. Does she know what she's doing? I mean, the absolute irony of this whole situation. So about a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, in October, she was found and charged because of the investigation into her housing fraud. And now she's coming out to actually say we need to give more free things to people. She does like free things. So this article in The Guardian, even The Guardian criticised her, said that she was charged with housing fraud after being investigated over how she obtained her flat. She was elected in Poplar and Limehouse in East London last year in 2019, and she's considered an ally to the former leader Jeremy Corbyn. And so she faces 3 separate charges of dishonestly failing to disclose information in order to make gains for herself or another, or expose another to a loss with the offences dated between January 2013 and March 2016. Yeah, again, the hypocrisy of these people is just completely astonishing. Now, moving on from this left-wing MP who got into trouble, there are more of them. We just had Margaret Ferrier, the SNP MP who broke the rules that she and her boss, Nicola Sturgeon, Queen Nicola, advocated for the last few months. She was caught breaking the rules, as you remember. She was in the news a few months ago. She decided to travel around the country, even though she had to stay at home, self-isolate, protect the NHS, save lives, all the usual stuff. And now she's actually finally in trouble. So she's now been arrested. She's been taken by the police. She's charged on the case of reckless conduct. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, there's a whole argument about uh, should the police and should the government go after people over these things. That's a whole different thing. But if it's the people in the position of power who are advocating these things, who are telling people off, then fine. If we have these rules now, I'm glad that they went after Margaret Ferrier. I don't care at this point. Now, the Tory party are also apparently in trouble. According to the Financial Times, two of their new Tory MPs have apparently submitted a letter of no confidence in Boris Johnson's leadership. Firstly, this is coming from the Financial Times. Secondly, I really want to know who these two people are, because I'm not really sure if this is a wise move at this point, because Boris Johnson still has the support of the Parliamentary Party. I don't think these two MPs have their numbers. The only thing this move is going to do is that it's just going to ruin their own future careers. They're not going to be MPs anymore. After the next election, I don't think they're going to be standing as Tory candidates. So I'm not really sure what's happening here. So again, there's a point about principle. So if you really, really dislike your leader or the leader's actions, fine, do things like this. But it's just about being practical as well. If you want to make a move against the boss, you have to make sure you have the numbers. So everyone's like in a mess. The whole Westminster bubble, the whole political system is actually in chaos. So 2021, good start, guys, good start. But it doesn't matter because it's just January. We still got 11 months to go, and we're going to be fine. We'll be fine. Hopefully, by continuing to watch this channel, I'm going to give you more positivity and more optimism. But I did want to actually make this video because I do care about the hospitality sector. As I said, not necessarily just because of businesses or the nice food or drinks. These are people's livelihoods. These are people's jobs, and without it, they don't have anything else. So make sure to support the hospitality sector. There are a lot of campaigns out there that are asking for more support and actually for the government to be more honest and transparent with people about what they're planning to do. So make sure to support them. And thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.